This movie opens up a handicapped main character who is extraordinary in a science subject. Nick helps a child grab his favorite toy by marking the strategy on the game's mirror. These friends are on a trip, moving to many places like the aquarium to enjoy. In reality, their friend is moving ahead to California for a year, so they want to have a pleasant time in her company. While driving, Nick jumps back to his thoughts, where he can jog. His legs are fine. His condition worsened because of the disease. In the middle of the night, everyone is sleeping except him, whose attention is diverted by Nomad. Seeing this message, he awakens Jonah and checks out his messages from his laptop. However, Nomad is a hacker who has already hacked the MIT server and tries to put all the blame on them. They are lucky that they aren't expelled, but he is again teasing them by hacking their friend Haley's laptop. Through this, he can keep an eye on their current situation. Now, they are pissed and turn on their devices to figure out Nomad's current location. In calculating the number, they have reached his location, Nevada. This place will arrive on their way, so they decide to catch up with him. Before they discuss, Haley arrives and gives them an ultimatum to sleep because they need to drive tomorrow. The following day, they are in the car when Nomad sends them a picture of their vehicle through a traffic camera. It reveals that he has hacked it and is keeping an eye on each step. Watching his expertise, Haley asks them not to provoke this guy and let this matter go. In the convenience store, Jonah is convincing Nick to chase him because it's insane not to capture him, who has tried to hack MIT's server and Haley's computer. But Nick doesn't think it's appropriate because they can get in great trouble. Later, they enjoy the chairlift and are about to have a coffee. Nick went to grab it, and Haley tried to clarify her doubt by talking with Jonah. She thinks Nick is intentionally sending her away to keep her distance. Jonah tries to stay away from their relationship, so he doesn't answer satisfactorily. Just then, Nick falls to the ground, who is bringing coffee. They rush to him, and Haley tries to help him, but he doesn't need her assistance and asks her to leave. She is away from the car when he arrives to bring the coffee. Nick follows her and shares his condition, where he has to sit in a wheelchair because of his condition. Then how can he protect and support her when he needs this most? Haley's rage emerges, and she returns his necklace, but Nick doesn't pick it up. In the meantime, he approves of Jonah to meet with Nomad. Before this, they want to drop Haley, but she insists on meeting this rascal. Till late at night, they have reached the shabby place. At first glance, they are scared and prefer to leave, but mustered up the courage and went inside to look at Nomad. Before this, he had locked the car's door and asked Haley not to come outside. Getting inside, they can only watch darkness and other petty things. Also, Jonah makes pranks by sitting on the chair and they move to the basement, where he has set up his system. Before they explain more, they hear Haley and rush back to her. They are shocked to see the empty car, and Haley is not there. They follow the screams and look at Haley, flying in the air as if something is dragging her. They have fainted in this mess. Later, Nick feels as if he is entrapped in numerous wires. When he awakes, he feels his body is numb and can't move. People in protective suits are dragging him to Dr. Wallace Damon. He introduces himself and observes those who have contacted aliens. He reveals his friends have contacted the extraterrestrial biology entity. Nick inquires why everyone is wearing protective suits and what is happening. Damon discloses that they also don't know what they are dealing with. Just then, his nose started bleeding, and 2 more people were constantly watching them. It's only blood. That's why they remain calm. Right now, Nick needs to be able to understand, and Dr. Damon is not burdening him. So he is taken to his room, and his legs are covered with the clothes. By observing his hand, he notices the code on his hand, 2.3.5.41. Nick also touches the window, which is illuminated by touching it. In reality, there are people outside wearing protective suits watching him. The next day, he is again taken to Damon. On the way, he looks at Haley, who is lying on the bed. He wants to meet with her, but his body is numb. He can't do anything. Rather, he is on their mercy. Arriving at the consultation room, he inquires about Haley, who is in a coma after this incident. Damon assures him she is in safe hands, so he shouldn't care about her. Also, he shows him the video of the incident which they have recorded. In this video, Nick looks at the alien, and Damon asks him to cooperate with him because he wants to help them. After that, Damon starts asking how many toes he has and whether he is bound to Earth. These questions are ridiculous for him, but he is compelled to respond to them. After returning to his room, he is pissed by locking in this room. Before he gets mad, he communicates with his friend who is living next to his room. Jonah discloses they are doing some kind of shitty business here, and his body has become numb. Also, this place works like a cloak, so he prefers to leave by perceiving Nick as living in the vent. Nick tries to clear his doubts, but he is not answering. The following day, he is again before Damon, who has placed many shapes before him and inquires about them. But Nick ignores him and inquires about the stuck clock. Damon takes it normal and reveals it has broken and needs maintenance. Before he again starts about the shape, Nick gives him a comprehensive answer. Damon smiles at his response as if he has achieved an excellent output. Also, he is in wrath and condemns him for locking them up and not allowing him to meet with his friend. So, he has decided not to cooperate with him until he meets with Haley. Hence, Damon has no option except to take her to Haley, whose report is empty. He is in his room, where Nick is preparing to escape from this place. He has realized this place runs like a clock, so he is preparing a device and making a map of this place. To complete this map, he takes Jonah's help, who informs him that something wrong is happening here. He is sure they are experimenting on them, but Nick doesn't believe and completes the map with his help. Apart from this, they are experimenting on a subject who has escaped from this place, and a red alarm has started. When everyone pays attention to the subject, Nick tries to run, but they have to search him out in the washroom. Soon. Everything was normal, but he found marks on the wall and inquired from Damon. But he ignores him and asks him to raise his hand. Nick is agitated and inquires about his friend Jonah, but he pretends that they didn't bring him with them. That's a lie because he has communicated with him, and they have also listened with the help of their system. The next day, Damon arrives at his room and examines where he has found the map on the Matrix. On the other hand, Nick is pulling Haley's bed by binding the rope from his wheelchair. He is performing everything following the time. Even these people in protective suits are working on the exact time. Luckily, he has reached the exit door and tries to open the door through the lock. As he can't stand, pressing the number with his device is challenging. Unfortunately, Damon has arrived and contaminated him into Haley's room. Just then, she is awoken, and they touch their hand. But people in protective suits don't allow them. In addition, they try to take Nick to another place. When he resists, he falls to the ground, and clothes are removed from his legs. His leg is replaced by alien technology. Watching this, he panicked and tried to stand, but he was not addicted to this technology. Also, Damon is constantly watching him and asking him to calm down. But Nick covers his legs and tries to stand and walk on his feet. He takes Haley's bed with him, dragging and breaking the door with a single kick. His mood is pissed, so he is not listening to anyone and crossing the hurdles with his remarkable foot power. Damon tries to stop him because he is unsafe outside, and they can't protect him when he is there. Nick doesn't pay attention and has escaped outside. Haley has also awoken and accompanied him on her feet. Walking along the road, they take a lift from Mirabelle, who drops them at the nearest gas station. Aside from this, Damon has also dispatched to capture them. She stops the car before arriving at the station and listens to the angels watching them. Reaching the gas station, he makes Haley sit near the truck and asks her not to leave from there. He gets inside the station and calls for help, but there is no signal to ask for help. At the same time, their pictures are on the TV of people who have escaped from the labs. James's truck driver also tries to take Haley with him, but Nick tries to capture him and asks James to stop the truck. When Nick climbs on the truck, James opens the door to make him fall. As a result, he has fallen and he is in wrath, so his alien power has activated. His speed has boosted up, and he is beating the car's speed. Moreover, Haley points out the gun to James, and he hasn't any option except to stop the car. By leaving him here, they have moved by taking his truck with them. On the way, Haley again inquires about what is happening, but Nick has already explained to her. He has realized she is not fine. Aside from this, Damon went to Mirabelle and inquired about the persons she had lifted. To ask more questions, Damon takes her to the lab. On the other hand, they have to stop the car because there is a dead end, and that's shocking. In the lab, Damon inquires questions from Millabelle, acting weirdly and repeating the words as if she has become mad. Also, her nose is bleeding, and Damon takes out the gun to finish her. She has contacted the subjects, Haley and Nick. So, she has gotten mad. In the meantime, Nick and Haley have concluded that they are in a loophole. It doesn't matter. They reach the same spot wherever they go. Hence, they have decided to rest in the visitor center temporarily. They have found the map inside the visitor center, but it's beyond his understanding because only one road leads them to a dead end. Later, Haley discloses the sound, but Nick cannot hear it. Nick also blames himself for meeting Nomad, but she couldn't recall anything. By considering her situation, Nick decided to stay here. At night, they feel like forces have located them and they hide under the table. But it's Jonah, and he is glad to have his friend again. Aside from this, Damon has reached out to James, who is also lunatic and talking weirdly. So Damon shoots at his head to get rid of him. Also, Nick noticed the code on Haley's back, and the sign represents that she has also been experimented on by them. In the visitor center, Jonah reveals that they are experimenting on them, and their life is at a dead end here. Also, he discloses the code meaning, which is 51. It means they live in Area 51, but Nick doesn't notice him. So Jonah has no option except to show his hand, which is replaced with alien technology. Jonah is upset, and Nick encourages him that they will get rid of this place. Also, they need to do it for Haley, whose condition worsens daily. The following day, they were dispatched in the truck. Jonah is driving and is wearing a protective suit. Just then, they look at the forces that they need to cross. Jonah asks them, he has approval, so they shouldn't stop him. But they want to examine the truck, and Jonah tries to flee by starting it. Unfortunately, they have raised the pillar, which prevents him from moving further. Gunn has started firing on the truck. So, Jonah prefers to run from the truck and get inside the control room. Here, he tries to hack the system, but it's impossible because of his alien hands. Also, a bomb has fallen into the control room, and this place has blasted. Jonah is severely injured, and forces have shot him behind. Nick also came out to help his friend, but he requested him to get inside the truck because he would bang the pillar with his hands' power. Nick has no option except to listen to him. He returns to the truck, and Jonah breaks the pillar with the strikes. They have run away, but are depressed about their friend who has sacrificed his life to save them. Also, Jonah again punches the flower, which is strong enough to break the road and give a ride to the forces. On the way, they look at Damon with his team. Still, Nick plans not to stop the truck and asks Haley to fasten the seatbelt. But Damon is more clever than him, and he has put the hurdles in his way, making the tire punctured. Consequently, their truck has turned, and they are injured on the road. At the same time, they have taken Haley into the helicopter, and Nick realized that the Nomad is Damon. Their name is also the same. But Damon blames him for coming to his location. Damon also admits that Nick is his best creation. He is a mixture of alien and human abilities. Nick has decided not to be more subject to his experiments. In anger, his alien power has activated, and he runs at lightning speed and breaks the transparent wall. It opens the door to realization. Just then, Damon gets inside from the broken wall and removes his protective suite. After watching his half-face, he is astonished, which reveals he is human, but other parts of his body reveal he is alien. Furthermore, he is on an alien planet with only one road. He is in Area 2.3-541, and there is no way to escape. If you have found this movie recap interesting, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to watch more entertaining movies.